Welcome back to the Paladins World Championship Qualifiers, day number 1. Set number 1 is in the books. Set number 2, it's bound to be a good one. We got Kanga and Hype Unit going toe-to-toe with one another. I'm Dolson. Blue joining me on the desk now. It's another PPL minor league matchup here, Blue. Lots of conversations being had around this one. The Renegades guys, they're giving it Kanga all day. Both of them said 3-0, I think, towards Kanga. How are you feeling about this one?
Well, our last set was a PML team who did very well against a PPL team.
That's true.
And, Kanga didn't finish too far ahead of Renegades. And Hype Unit theoretically is better than all business. Business had 2 subs.
Right.
And, they had 3 losses. Hype Unit had 1. So you would think that it's going to be another close match. A lot of people are leaning towards Kanga because it is the PPL team. You have players like Chronix, Jera, Evil Eye, some experienced players on that team. But I think it'll be a good one.
Up in the air, maybe.
Yeah,
Up in the air. I don't know.
It could be.
Closer than others seem to think.
It really depends on how the first game goes, because the game 1 always kind of sets the tone.
Yeah, I'll buy into that.
I mean, that set the tone for the last set. It looked the Renegades the whole time, and then all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, things flip around, kind of on a dime. I agree. I think the thing with Kanga, kind of unpredictable, and I think that's what a lot of teams have started to say around these guys. One big difference, actually, is Hades being back. He's now back in the booth, standing behind them there. I think they're a pretty level-headed team, potentially prone to tilting here and there, but I think maybe having Hades back, a big coach back in that team environment, especially if things do get tough here against Type Unit. I think maybe having a coach back in the booth is a difference maker for these guys.
It definitely is. Every time Kanga's played on big LAN stages, he's been the guy standing behind them with the drafts, things like that.
Right.
So having him there, that's a big, big plus for them.
I think that's definitely a boon to their cause today. Evil Eye, we talked a lot about sort of that shadow dynamic with Renegades in our last set. I think Evil Eye has a big role to play for these guys as well. Chronix kind of fills that same role as like Invocal does, so I think Evil Eye in a very similar way needs to have a big set here. He's going to be going up against Payan, obviously in split 1. That's kind of a 1 versus 1. It's never a true 1 versus 1, but the kind of blaster versus blaster matchup we've seen, at least in split 1 of the PPL. Do you think he needs to have a big game here today, or can he play okay and maybe they still grab a win?
No, Evil Eye has to have a big day for Kanga. There's 2 big reasons why. When you look at the other side, like you said, Payan, one of the better players for that team. Evil Eye has to match him and do better than him. They both play the blasters, kind of that flexy DPS kind of role. And at the same time, even looking at the PPL, the last 6-7 weeks, Victor and other hit scans have been huge.
Right.
And it's usually been blasters, so maybe that'll relieve some pressure off of Evil Eye and allow him to step up and be like, hey, blasters are still super relevant.
I agree, and I think there might be some overlap even. I mean, obviously there's the big kind of priority picks in that blaster role, Eevee, Mave, Bomb King we've seen a few times today. I think there's some overlap between Evil Eye and Payan, so there may be some crossover, picks and bans. Evil Eye, kind of a comfort pick guy. If you can get him on an Eevee, get him on a Bomb King, you're going to be probably happy in that scenario. Do you think even beyond out on the Rift, out on the playing field, they maybe over-prioritize Evil Eye, or do you not maybe need to go that far?
I wouldn't really go that far. There's a lot of other champions and other roles that could potentially be your quote-unquote carries.
Sure.
But Evil Eye does have to perform on anything they give him. Eevee, Bomb King, he plays those very well. He plays Bomb King very well in his past land. So give him something he's comfortable with.
And I think there's maybe enough in his champion pool that you don't have to go all out, pick him something super early on. Looking over at Hype Unit, though, I kind of agree with the statement you made in that All Business had the higher seed in this qualifier tournament because of the way the EU PML performed at MSI. But would you maybe make the argument that Hype Unit are the better of the 2 minor league teams here in this tournament? Or is that a tough conversation to have? Maybe it's a toss-up, but technically they're seeded 1 higher.
Are we talking All Business from the PML? Or are we talking All Business at LAN with 2 subs? No,
you're right.
You know?
Sure, all
So-
business from LAN. That's who we've seen today. Do you think that this hype unit team is a stronger team than the all business team that played today?
Okay, so we haven't seen Hype Unit play at LAN technically yet,
That's
but
true.
I would still rate them above all business.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you probably give them a fighter's chance here in this matchup? We mentioned earlier on, everyone, honestly, seemingly everyone seems to be leaning with Kanga in this one. I'm not quite as ready to count out Hype Unit in this matchup. I do think that if they show up, they've got some gas behind them. They're feeling good. They're feeling confident. They made some swaps. They kind of joined. I remember at the beginning of this split, we were talking about how this Hype Unit team, Shadows at the time, could really contest a lot of people, and they certainly did. Dropped one single set the entire time throughout this split of the PML. We mentioned Evil Eye. Payan maybe needs to fill a similar role. Just needs to try to keep pace with Evil Eye. If these two guys, go 1-for-1, maybe you're winning the day in that regard.
So Payan, of course, needs to outdo Evil Eye,
Right.
obviously. But he's expanded his champ pool more than Evil Eye has.
Sure.
Throughout this last phase. So that, of course, helps him. He's been able to stretch onto other champions and get a feel for a lot more viability,
Right.
I guess, for him to be included and to really be the go-to guy. And really, he's got a chip on his shoulder. I mean, he was in the PPL.
Yeah.
Now he's not. So he's trying to prove, saying, hey, I need to go and be back in there. So
That's right. I mean, you look at Dethroner and Payan on this roster. They were in the PPL Split 1. They were in the minor league for Split 2. Do you think both of them kind of play with a little bit of an edge today? They used to play against Kanga all the time in Split 1, or I guess they played twice in Split 1. Is there maybe a prove-it mentality for these Hype Unit guys?
for those two guys, there's definitely a prove-it mentality. I would say so. Even if they disagree or deny it, you know it's there.
Yeah, it has to be.
It's got to hurt, you know?
It has to be. I mean, you're on the team, and the Knights, I mean, not to mince words, they did not have a good split number 1, and so they make some changes. Whether or not it was Dethroner or Payan, maybe they're questioning that. We did have a chance to sit down with some of the Hype Unit guys prior to this week, see how they're feeling. Take a listen.
They're pretty good. Confidence is looking good. Meshing well together throughout the last 2 weeks of scrims, so doing pretty well overall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty confident myself, but I'm always like that, so, like, pretty much. I've always been, like, confident in my ability to perform, and my team is, like, this is probably definitely the strongest team I've ever been on, so I think we'll, like, do pretty well.
It's feeling pretty good. Like now going into LAN, like, everyone's been focused on LAN since probably, like, week 4. After we beat Singwon, like, the second time, we saw no way we were going to lose, so we've been focused. We're ready for any team to play against.
It was fun winning again. It just got more boring and boring as time gone on, though, with the competition. Towards the end, we took it less serious, but it's just how it is when you're locked in first seed. So,
As for team leader, like, Edge is still he's our in-game drafter. Pan's, like, our in-game leader. So, like, it carried over for Pan. Pan, like, when he was on the Knights, he wasn't much of an in-game leader. It was more of Cuss and RK moving forward. And he was, like, our in-game leader on SK, the team before that. So now Pan's, like, getting back into the role of being an in-game leader in PMO. And I think the experience of being in PPL actually helped. Like I feel like every single, like, to be honest, I think I was told by Simsalu. It was funny. I was told by Simsalu, like, before PPL started, he said he felt like it was too early for me to be PPL. And at the time, I disagreed. But, like, I'm more looking back at it, like, I agreed. It was way too early for me to be PPL. So, like, being an experienced PPL, it's good. It's helped me a lot.
so with Kanga coming into it, we know it's gonna be tough. No matter what, any team this lands gonna be tough to verse. So we're just trying our best to prepare with recent PPL matches that they've done. Like, you can't really judge them from, like, the beginning of split, especially when we versed them on Knights. They seem like just a totally different team, like this synergy that they have.
I remember at the start of PPL when I was on the Knights, even though we lost that week because G-Buddy was unfortunately sick. But going into Kanga, we didn't think they were, like, super strong. And, like, week to week to week, they get better and better. Even though, like, they always fall a little short of, like, passing their step, we cannot, like, argue their dominance or their strength as a team.
Their teamwork and synergy together was really, like, top tier compared to, like, other PPL teams where they might out-mechanic you. But with this team, it's just like they're just one unit.
Yeah, they do like really crazy stuff. They're kind of the ones that brought Strix in the meta, but like yeah, we came in prepared and like we have drafts and we like made like a whole lot of hypothetical scenarios. So whatever they're gonna bring out, I think will be like good.
Meta is interesting because I feel like the meta has like changed. I feel like every single team has a different style or like what they usually pride or what they do and what they do best. Kanga is like an interesting team. It's like you really don't know what they're doing week to week. They've been like, I feel like they're the developed team with IO. They've been like working with that lately.
Yeah, I think as a team, with the players we have, the picks like right now, we have capable players of playing like those super strong picks, and we have flexible enough players to pick those odd picks that you might see.
I think like specifically in Payne's case, like I used to play too passive of a DPS. He was like at the very extreme here where he's super like aggressive and sometimes he just does things, and I was here so where I didn't get aggressive, so now we kind of like met that in between. So like I learned that from him specifically. Yeah, I think like a lot of teams could like be caught off guard by like especially my champion pool, because like historically my champion pool everyone's called me like a Cassie Leon 2-trick. But I could definitely play a lot more, but we purposely just don't show certain things. Like in PML games I've like flexed a triple tank, I flexed a pit. Like this time around I feel a lot more comfortable with my champion pool, so there's no Cassie Leon ban repeat from MSI. It's like a lot of people have compared us to Penta because you know we have like we have the roster to show for it. We've had like the stats coming in. Like we're doing well. I mean, our only loss was a forfeit because I forgot to sign in, but that's on me. My team was pretty mad about that. But like, yeah, I think so for sure. Because now people are looking at minor league teams to like make more upsets, and there is more pressure. So for sure, yeah.
I feel like we could have asked the same question to Penta. Did they feel the pressure of Purity, or did Purity feel the pressure of someone? I feel like the pressure, like we all have pressure on ourselves. We all have individual pressure. So like we really don't look at the past. We look at like what pressure we put on ourselves, because we never looked at ourselves as a PML team. We feel like we can contend with these PPL teams. We feel like we can contend with Renegades. We can contend with Knights if we are playing at our best. Now, when we are not playing at our best, I think we are a PML team, as the season show, where we like drop maps to like XL or stuff like that, which honestly you guys can see even on the cast. This team shouldn't be dropping maps to this team, but no, there's no pressure.
I don't think it brings pressure to us. I think it brings pressure to more PPL teams trying to prepare for console and PML. You can't really underestimate anybody in this tournament. So I think it brings more pressure to PML PPL to not repeat what happened last time with Spencer.
Back when we were still the Shadow instead of Hyperion, we were like beating PPL teams consistently, so it was like really, really good. And then we kind of like went into a dip when we kept like 3-2ing PML day, and then we kind of went on the uprise again, so it was like a roller coaster. Right. But now I think we're back on the up. And, like recently we've been scrimming Envy a lot, we've been scrimming SSG a pretty good amount, and it's usually like trading or if we lose, very close games, so I think we're good.
Well, I'm gonna be honest, so the Pittsburgh Knights blacklisted us for an unfortunate reason of someone not making scrims a couple times. So other than the night scrims, we've been scrimming Team Envy. We've been trying to scrim the teams that have been in the top 4. So like we won't show much to the lower team. And when we do scrim a lower team scrims, a lower team like in the bottom 4 like Renegades or SSG, we don't play. We play like it's PML. We don't play any stress. We look to see what they're doing. So. Random number generator definitely comes out. They see some wonky things. Honestly, like the random number generator has been good luck for us. Yeah. Probably won't come out, but but if we're up 2-0 and then we lose a map, we're like, yeah, let's just open up Google Chrome real quick. Let's see how this goes. This might be a good map, boys. So let's take it.
It could be.
Our confidence is pretty high. We've done research. See, I think the difference between playing at PML and PPL, and definitely once you're like dominant PML teams, you don't have to really run like these like strats that you're gonna bring for LAN or any of your champions or like anything you have planned. Or the PPL teams is like they're fighting for their standings. Kanga was like fighting to get 6. Unfortunately, they fell to 7th. So they were definitely constantly always bringing out the best strats, best planning. So like we can always like look for what Kanga's running, and they really don't have much to see. So our confidence is pretty high for this tournament. Whoever we really play against, it just depends, matchup to matchup.
I think if you boil all of that down, it's the confidence is there. On their bad days, maybe not. On the good days, they feel like they can contend with anyone.
We just watched an entire documentary of their phase.
Yeah, we heard all about the ups, the downs, the roller coaster, as Edgem pointed it. Yeah, the hype unit story. That's exactly how it played out. But it's kind of saying, if we don't play well today, maybe we, I don't know if we'll beat Kanga, but when we're playing our best, I feel like maybe we can contend with a lot of these teams.
A lot of the PPL teams.
That's right.
That's the most important part is what they've mentioned. But, yeah, I feel as if they could contend with some of these teams. It just comes down to, are they able to get the champions that they want in the draft, and are they able to play the maps that they want?
Yeah. It's definitely going to be an interesting shift. These are two teams we haven't seen go up against one another a whole lot. Frog Isle, that's on the board first here. Get word on whose first pick that was in just a moment. But so Frog Isle taking on the board first. Snipers, always a conversation to be had here. Edgem and Chronix, two guys who I'm very confident having Strix in either of their hands. And then you look at the supports between Gara and T-Mac. Obviously, Gara, very good player for Kanga. T-Mac, somebody who's been here, though, and done the whole LAN thing a few times.
Yeah, and not just done the LAN thing. Like, he's done the LAN thing.
That's right.
I was thinking, last night I was thinking about T-Mac when he was on a team called Big Egos, all the way last year's placement for High Res Expo.
Sure.
And they beat a PPL team. They ended up losing to Space Station, so.
But he has the experience beating PPL teams.
He's got some experience, yeah.
So, I mean, so much of the spotlight on Dethroner and Payan because they were the most recent players in the PPL, but plenty of guys on this roster that have, done it in the past. Tay, I think, one of the stronger players on Hype Unit. Quiet, confident.
They got him Khan.
And they got him Khan. Yeah, I mean, you're going to give up Makoa. So this is actually almost the exact same as what we saw in Ascension Peak in the Renegades set, except it's a Cassie band out instead of an Eevee. But then Strix Atlas. So Hype Unit, they're fine giving up the Makoa because they get themselves a Barrack and Khan.
Yeah, we've seen Hype Unit play a lot of Atlas and Khan for Tay throughout the entire phase, and he played very well on both those champions. You give him either of them, you're almost guaranteed a good game from Tay at least. So, like you said, giving up the Makoa, not too bad. They do grab the Eevee for Evil Eye.
Yep, and I think that's a good comfort pick for him, something we've mentioned. So Hype Unit are going to ban out the Strix, take that away from Chronix, grab themselves the Kinessa. She hasn't been, that top priority high pick, but in this scenario, if she's the only sniper available, Hype Unit are more than comfortable taking her as their direct damage.
Yeah, you called it too, Edgem. The sniper.
I said they might duel, but it's just going to be Edgem this time.
I think after the Strix ban comes in, and you're playing on Frog Isle, you know that both teams like snipers. You maybe take the Kinessa a little higher.
Right.
Maybe they're not. I mean, that leaves Eevee on the board for Payan. So.
Right.
It really comes down to which one do you really, really prefer. We see an Io and a Victor too.
Yeah, Kango's been one of those teams that have adapted into that IO. Renegades definitely in that conversation. Envy as well. Mr. Hayes has started to really like playing that IO. So I'm not surprised necessarily to see Kanga pick her up here. Rounded out with the Victor for Chronix. I think a good pick for them there. And then a Maeve for the Payan. 5 locked in here for both teams. Do you like one over the other?
Yeah, I like Kanga, not just for the IO and the Makoa, but they have Victor for Chronix.
Yeah.
And I've always enjoyed Chronix on direct damage or hit scan. He, phase 1, he had that kind of thing where he switched to a off tank.
Sure, you're right. But I think on the Victor, I agree. I think Victor is a good pick there for Chronix. Watch out for that Genos Kinessa, though. Lots of one-shot potential here for Hype Unit. It's been a very talked-about matchup. We've talked about it enough. Let's go down to your casters to get it started.
Well, thanks for the pass, because we're going to talk about it a little bit more, of course, when we go into this game, but also right now, the drafts themselves. Okay, we got the Kinessa, we've got the Maeve, and unfortunately for you, you wanted the Sky
I wanted the Sky so bad. I know it's fraud, but there's definitely ways to make it work. Makoa and Nara, it doesn't get better than that for Sky, but I think that this is probably the right call for sure for them. Having a little bit more flexibility from the Maeve, more mobility. You kind of want that to be able to get to that high ground and actually pressure that backline up in the window side.
Yep, I mean, we'll have to see, of course, how these drafts are going to do and fare up on Frog Isle. It's only a matter of the pace of execution. Hype Unit, definitely full of character, so I'm ready to see them actually go up against this PPL team Kanga. Like we've said it before, they haven't had the best track record against them.
Yeah, on the Knights at least.
On the Knights, yeah.
When they were on the
that's
Knights,
what-
they definitely didn't have the best track record. We don't know about Scrim's track record, but
Right, yeah.
Scrims don't matter, matches do, and that's what we're getting into right now.
Oh.
Watching the immediate ding onto Joel's. Has to use DO really early, and that gives an early edge to Dethroner.
Yeah, and I mean, already we see that Edgem is spreading out the damage so much. Was able to hit Victor, was able to hit a few more, but Pan is actually going to be the first to go down. Rhino's watching danger. Don't know how that actually ended up going about, but 33% for Kanga already. Tay's already up there. A good shield to block that hook, and they are going to have to afford to give up some space.
Dethroner backed off of the wall. He could have hugged the Inara wall, maybe gotten slowed a little bit, but he would have denied cap time. But now 69% and climbing with Luna capturing the objective. Edge is watching as much as he can, but he can't really do much to an Inara. Rhino finally gets pushed out, and that's a good look for Hype Unit, but they need to contest this point soon. It's getting close to the danger zone, 90%.
Yeah. Everyone's already so close. Tay actually gets hooked, but doesn't get knocked off. The battle shot not only gives himself some immunity, but to heal. They are holding ground. Everyone's low on Kanga's side, and there we go. The kills are starting to filter for a Hype Unit. They've got 2, they've got a 3rd, and Joel's, and now they're looking at Chronix. He's forced back. Rhino's gonna have to die on point, and 21%. This is the steady climb. This is how Hype Unit can get in their positions like they already are and try and hold this.
This is great for Hype Unit because, yeah, Kanga won the first fight, but now Hype gets his zone with ultimates about to be on board. Edgem about to get Headhunter. Doesn't use it yet, nothing really seen, but now it gets popped just to fight the Inara back, but he can't burst anything down.
Yeah, he's looking for the Eevee, trying to find out where she is. Joel's actually making it back to point with Rhino. A good hook onto the con. The overtime timer is ticking down. Dethroner's forced to fall back, as well as the rest of Hype Unit. They have to burn him as quickly as possible, and the seismic crash gets canceled out just as she ends up dying. The Midnight, they use it as soon as they get it, Paying with a double kill, and now we're following that up with another on their own, but no one could stand on the point. The overtime ticked down too fast, and no one was ready for that.
Yeah, the fast OT, no one was ready to retouch at the end. Payne, if he knew, maybe could have gotten it. Hype Unit actually find the kills. If that fight went longer, they could have turned it. But right now, Hype Unit are just on the defense with this solid control over mid. Edgem doing great damage so far in this Vanessa, out-damaging Victor, and having that angle to dismount is going to be big. This is a pretty long map, at least from the spawn, long sight line, so you can definitely get those early dismounts and buy even more time if you can. Great shots by Edge to find Gera as well.
Very, very great shots. Good hunt, Headhunter, and gets a double. On top of that, the rest of Hype Unit, they want to play aggressive. They're looking to play. They're looking to party right now, and they've already gotten 3 kills, a 3rd onto Rhino as he tried to jump off the side of the map. They are back in the strong position that they want. They have this foothold. Edgem already with the caught 2. You see that some of them on Kanga styles have caught 2, Wrecker 2, in Chronic's case. But Payne's actually going in, but gets hooked immediately by Rhino, getting a little bit too overzealous, and now Dethroner's out there. He had to drop the dome shield, has to back off, but he might actually just end up going down. He's just at least going to try and go down fighting.
Yeah, as long as he can buy time and charge up his next dome shield a little bit more, I think it's going to work out. Honestly, I feel like Kanga's comp scales way better into late game than Hype Units does. Not only do their tanks, I think, not get affected as much by Caught. Makoa has the full heal off of Ancient Rage, and Nora has the Earthen Guard. But IO healing is fantastic in late game. Yeah, the pocket potential isn't really there as much, but you're giving them 25% damage reduction when you pocket them. That does not scale into Cauterize. It's always flat good. Plus the cap time. Yes, Bulldozer makes Luna a little bit harder to maintain, but just getting that little bit of objective OT is enough sometimes for Anaya.
They are. I mean, Edgem again with another good kill to find the opening on this fight. A double for him. Payan finds another. The throw almost actually puts Makoa off of the map, but Edgem with a triple kill, technically. A delayed triple at that. Now they're going to be looking for Gera. He's already really low. They're pushing him down, and they're going to take care of him. Hype Unit, despite getting pushed back, they are responding immediately with some opening kills.
Kanga is the Chronix and Victor show. And Chronix and Victor. I meant to say Chronix and Rhino
Chronix
show
and
right
Victor
now.
show, yeah.
No, Rhino's having a great game. That's why
show.
I'm correcting myself. Because honestly, Rhino's having a fantastic game so far, hitting these hooks onto Pan, buying a lot of space. Joel's now owning a little bit of ground in mid. It's so tough for Nara to match up into a sniper, unless you got Tremors to keep yourself going. Edge finds a great angle here to zone out Chronix, but doesn't get the shots on him. That headshot will finally push him away, but all he'll do is buy a little bit of time as overtime begins.
Payan's going to be the first to go down, though, just as Kanga were climbing their way back to the payload. Now they've got the position they want. They actually get the stun directly onto the con, right on the Tay, and he's going to go down next. They've already lost 2 individuals on their team. Edgem is positioned in a way that's going to allow him to get a lot of these free shots, just like you see right now. Anar's getting melted. Joel's actually eating a lot of shots. Now that Evil Eye's actually going to try and move in. Payan's on that side, literally just waiting. He knows they're around that corner. Doesn't want to push too far, but he actually gets hooked just as he tries to escape. escape. And because of that, he has to reset, gonna try and bounce out, but they killed Joel's. No one else was actually on the point. So because of Edgem finding that pick on that point tank, he was the only one on the point. They were able to defend because of that.
Payan also buying so much time on the side means
Agreed.
that Rhino doesn't have time to think about going back to the objective, right? He can't make it back in. This was right after that mid, a little bit of a streak that Edge managed to have. This uncontested Kinessa is so impactful right now for them. Being able to just burn through as long as the shots connect. And Kinessa, I think, takes a little bit more specific time playing Kinessa to be good at, I think, than a Strix. I think Strix is a little more pick up and play, and you can tell all the experience Edge has on Kinessa really coming into play here with him finding these sprees, not really getting dove on, doubling the damage but almost of everybody else in the game.
8-1 and 2. I mean, the slash lines on the hype unit PML team, I mean, there is nothing to scoff at. He's already running a bulldozer or 2 on Edge's side. That's such a priority to be able to take care of that Luna. And the 3-time in space as well to try and punish that Victor for using that barrage, standing out openly in the window. There's so many ultimates that are coming out. You already used the Be Gone, you used the Seismic Crash as well. A good hook onto Tay is going to leave him dead. Now you got the Ancient Rage. You pop it so early, though. You're not in range of anyone. He has to move the point to try and capitalize on that. He's focusing on Dethroner. The Ice Storm gets dropped as well. They use so many ultimates just for 24%.
That was a pure sustain Ancient Rage. That was only to keep him alive. Now Kanga uses every single ultimate. Yes, they're capping the point, but Hype Unit has Midnight and Overpower to break through this hold. What are they going to give them? Joel has to use Earthen Guard so early so he doesn't get overpowered by Tay. Now they might have to rush something, but he misses the Overpower.
The Midnight is not going to miss, though. He's actually going to use that global ultimate. He's going to try and use that to move in and find that opening opportunity, and they are. You're going to at least be able to step back on the point, but Luna's on there still. Paya's going to have to rotate around, try and capitalize on Joel's just standing out in the open, but the Dethroner's still going to go down. You got a Void Grip as well. Now Tay's on point, but they cannot keep filtering back and forth. Edgem has to pop Headhunter. He has to try and find these openings, these kills, and he's finding the damage, but Payan with the double, that might open something up. Him and Edgem alone are able to get a lot of damage, but he blinks right past the point and doesn't get the touch. Unfortunate.
It's hard to be really accurate with that blink. T-Mac could have potentially jumped off. I think he could have been saved, but didn't know that Dethroner was so close. Honestly, I didn't have to end this game, have to end these fights faster. The longer they go, I feel like there's a sustain of Kanga. Dethroner can't out-sustain 2 people constantly capping the point in front of him. Look at this aggression from Joel's. The walls catches in Dethroner. He trades his life for it on Evil Eye, but still, that's a tank being staggered. That's a point that's not getting stopped.
And they still got 2 frontliners on Kanga's side, which is why Rhino's already pushing this side flank right here. Payan, he has to wait. He has to bide his time. He doesn't want to push out too far. If he gets hooked, that could potentially be it for him. I mean, he's very, very fragile on this May, but they've got Seismic Crash. They've got Be Gone. Barrage almost there. Same for the Ice Storm. I mean, they have ultimates that they can use to try and close it out if they want to. But Hype Unit has about the same ult economy as them. The Overpower gets used, but right as the Earthling Guard comes up, he knew that's what Tay wanted, and he took advantage of that.
Yeah, Tay needs to start connecting these Overpowers if they want to have a chance in this game. That really is the difference maker. Pain time in the back does catch Gera, and might be able to survive here. Great juking by him, but does go down eventually in the end.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Joe's going to be one of the last ones left, and they're going to try and stagger him. Are they going to let him fall off? Kresnik, this might be.
Please.
Void Grip?
He died to the grip.
Yeah, he
not T-Mac's fault.
Yeah.
It was actually the turret, I think, that did the extra damage to make that happen. So not mad at anyone there for sure. And Hype Unit now settling on this defense. A minute left. Not sure what they're going to be willing to spend here. Probably not too much once they get it. They did use their time and space and Midnight, but they're just going to be looking to charge that up to set up for the next mid-fight, which, for their sake, hopefully is a 2-2.
Yeah, hopefully it'll end up being a 2-2. I agree with that. They've got 4 ultimates on Kanga's side. Almost all 5 are up. They really only have the Headhunter and Dome Shield on Hype Unit's side, having used a couple, and also having missed a couple as well on Hype Unit's side. But a good shot straight from Evil Eye is actually going to end up killing Payan, but they take care of Chronix. The Seismic Crash comes out, but not at the right time. The Headhunter's there, but they have the Generals to back up Edgem. They're trying to make sure that he can actually stay alive and get these free shots, but Tay goes down. The Throner's still next to the point. He has to drop the Dome Shield directly on it. Good ultimate usage from him. There's no DR on Joe's side. You see that Rhino's trying to dive in the back line. He's going to get rid of Edgem, and now they're going to be able to just pretty much go onto this point and capitalize on that. But Payan with the double, that's looking pretty good. They might actually be able to fight that out. He just switches targets to Chronix, gets that kill, but Joe's still pushing, and they actually managed to live still. A triple kill from Payan. He just solo carried that. He made that possible at the very end of that match.
Now, I think that was an ace.
It was.
Payan. I think he was aced the entire team.
It was.
This man is unstoppable. on some of his characters, and Maeve is clearly going to be one of them going forward in this set. What a fantastic performance by him so far. Hey, look, another highlight play from Pan. You know, I guess you just throwing these out left and right.
Yeah.
Might as well watch him play. Maeve's so impactful right now in the current meta because of how flexible you can be while doing insane damage. Almost cleaning up a triple kill to turn that fight around. 110k damage for Edge, 64,000 for Pan. Fantastic performance by them, and I think the tanks from Hype just have to step up a little bit to make up for that. I mean, Team Axe playing Genos. He has 2 deaths. That's good, but what can you say, about a Genos for sure? Tay needs to connect these overpowers, and Dethroner, I think, needs to be just a little more careful about his cooldowns. Maybe give up time maybe give up point time at different intervals, so he's not as worried about Luna contesting.
They actually have a little bit of time to just get percentage right there because of the early dismount onto the Anar. They use the Midnight to try and find their opening or create one, or at least force Kanga back. One of those many options that they have just from using that, but Edge still in a good spot, still swapping targets and spreading out as much damage as he possibly can. Anar gets healed right back up. The overpower comes through and actually hits. It goes straight on the Rhino. He throws him off. Evil Eye tries to follow up to at least help out his teammate, but it's a little bit too late. He's already off the edge. He's in the water, right where a turtle should be. He's backing off. 57% to 21 for Hype Unit. You have your through time and space and your Headhunter. You have the opportunities to be able to hold onto this point and potentially capture it. It's just a matter if Hype Unit can.
Edge needs to mix up his angles a little bit. Is he still up in that tree, or is he in main now? Still in the same spot. It's threatening now, but he needs to mix it up if he wants to find some kills here. Ancient Rage comes in, but what can he find on the side?
He's going to have to find something because he actually ended up popping it, but actually gets forced right back out. They're really, really low through time and space. Doesn't actually find it smart. They're going to get rid of the Throner. He was already low. They kept him in that corner. Got the kill 60% to 54. Edgem has to back off. Evil Eye's already over there. A good charge shot immediately on the Evil Eye is going to leave him a little bit shook. He has to back out, but he's still dead. Tay was actually able to find that. I don't know if they were actually able to touch just now. Payan's in the back. Chronix actually missed the shots, and Payan is actually able to take out that Victor. Now the rest of Hype Unit, now they're back. They can push in. They're looking at Garrett. They're just ignoring everybody else. They don't care about them, and they get the kill on the support. Rhino has to back off, but Joel's is going to take care of the Throner. They have to make sure that they at least can find some type of percentage back on the point to try and capitalize on that for Kanga's side.
This is going to be all Tay at this point. He has to, not Tay, excuse me, Edge at this point. He has to find these angles, goes back to the tree. Needs to get a kill for them to equalize since they're down a man. Ice Storm on the point means you can't run away, but he manages to find Evil Eye.
Good shot on the Evil Eye. That's absolutely huge, but they lose 2 members on Hype Unit's side. It's going to come down to who's remaining.
Dome shield? Who's
left? Doesn't actually use the Dome Shield. He's going to hold on to that. You got
he just got it.
Okay, yeah.
If he died with it, I would have freaked out.
He has 90. It's 99% to 93, but still a point capture. He's going to be converted on Kanga's side. The overpower, once again, good early overpower just to make sure they cannot get any more position they need to. The hitbox is still there, but he's still going to die just because he didn't throw him off on the side. They still get that kill, and they actually just, Edgem is just watching for those kills. He's still in that position, and he gets punished for it for just being right there thanks to Chronix and the other members of Kanga.
And I think he didn't throw him off just so he could get the extra ult charge for Payan since Midnight was just used. Payan now kiting around. Needs to stop dueling this Victor. That was a one-time victory, Payan. Chronix isn't always going to miss like that, and he goes down for the little bit of greedy play he had. And now Kanga are going to push this advantage as hard as they can.
Oh, seismic crash already. He already pushed up. They're in their spawn. The Throner's really low. Evil Eye's trying to capitalize on that. They get the shot that they need to, but still a minute 40. They have the through time and space. They have the Dome Shield. It's a matter of what will they use, Kresnik, as this point is inching closer and closer. This could be a victory for a Hype Unit, but it's a matter of how they use their ultimates. The Ancient Rage on Kanga's side is already used, followed by the Barrage, and get rid of Payan. And now they took care of the Throner. Now the rest of them are in spawn. Tay's over there by himself through time and space to find an opening, but it's not going to find anything. A triple kill for Chronix and a victory for Kanga Esports.
Chronix just rolls through the entirety of Hype Unit there at the end, and I think a little bit of panic maybe. Edge goes to the tree when they're coming around the corner, opens himself up to multiple angles and gets taken down. He had to mix up his approach a little bit more.
Yeah.
Couldn't there at the end. That combined with Payan maybe being just a little bit too greedy, I think is what let Kanga flip that around and take that map.
Yeah, I mean, they did extremely well. I mean, Hype Unit, this sort of back and forth is really, really intense. I mean, you see it from a PML team. And we saw earlier today how close all business was to Renegades. And now we have this, the fact that Hype Unit just lost their first game. It's not any consequence. They still did extremely well, but Kanga were the ones that actually ended up taking the victory on Frog Isle. We'll have to see if Hype Unit can at least bite back right after this break.
Tonight I'll be kissing, but I don't really have a case. You don't have to mention, you just like their attention. It's written all over your face. phone every time I see you. Tell me, is this part of an act just to keep your image intact? If you think that strategy's smart, I'm not gonna defend my beating heart. Defend my beating heart. You knocked on my window and slept on my pillow, then said you had found your place. Not sure if I want this. You don't think that I noticed.
Well, Frog Isle's done, and Kanga grabbed themselves a win. Some duress from Hype Unit. The damage dealers between Edgem and Pan, they definitely put Kanga through the ringer there. But Blue, they were able to weather that storm. Kanga had some great damage of their own between Chronix and Evil Eye. The frontliners definitely getting it done there. Who maybe stands out to you there from Kanga? Maybe a reason why they got the win.
For Kanga, it was had to be Evil Eye.
You think?
Chronix was putting out consistent damage
Right.
like he was supposed to, but
Sure.
he was missing key shots when he was getting dove on, and that's what helped Payne get the triples and stuff. But most of the work was done by Evil Eye. He was really disrupting the back line. It didn't seem like it because the Kinessa's damage was light years ahead of second place.
Yeah.
But Evil Eye knew the exact moment he needed to be in Kinessa's face for the tanks to win the point fight. Hype was winning the point fights initially.
Right.
Kanga just did it faster when they won them.
No, I agree. And I think Evil Eye being able to keep pace with a Victor on an Eevee is, you can't understate that. Chronix, again, 1.8 KDA. I'm sort of with you on this one. Wasn't like a massive blowout performance, but kind of these big key moments. Double kill with the barrage, loosens up the Hype Unit defense. Little things like that. Triple kill just to seal up the game. That's sort of what you count on. I do agree, though. I mean, whenever you see an Eevee that neck and neck with a Victor, I guess it just kind of depends on where the Victor, like if Victor is high, mid, 100,000 damage and Eevee's up there, that's an absurd Eevee performance. But if, you're a little bit lower, beneath 100K, and they're that close, maybe it's the Victor had not a rough game, but not a blowout game, because you really expect him to maybe keep pace with Edgem there.
I mean, it's not like, the crazy Victor that kills everything. It's more like the utility Victor. He did his job. He's going against a Con Barrack. He had Wrecker. He had Caught. He can apply both of those very well. And he used Barrage when Dome Shield came out. So,
he did what he needed to do
he
when he
did
needed
what
to
he
do
was
it.
supposed to do. And Evil Eye cleaned up.
That's right. And that's what you hope for. That's that dynamic damage duo for Kanga. Jaguar falls up next. Kanga grab a 4-2 win over Hype Unit in game number 1. This map, actually, I kind of mentally pivot back to the Pan and Evil Eye conversation, because you look at a map like Jaguar Falls, a team like NIP, they love themselves like some Pip on this map. Give that to Bittner. I don't know if I ever see Evil Eye playing the Pip. I do, however, see Pan playing something like the Pip. So while there's some overlap in their champion pool, I think that, to your point, this is maybe where Pan's expanded champion pool maybe rings a little bit more true. Hype Unit, how do you think about them grabbing Genos first overall?
T-Mac really enjoys Genos.
Yep.
And if you go back and look during the season, they prioritize Genos a lot for the strats that they use within Hype Unit. They like that Luminary buff. They like giving Edgem and even Tay with like an Atlas or a Khan. You put extra damage on those two front lines. That's a lot of damage coming at you. So they really enjoy the damage buff. They banned out Makoa this time, which is super smart because Makoa is very strong for Kanga in game 1. They banned out Willow again. Khan is still open, but this is what I was going to say. Get the Bomb King.
Yeah, I think so.
It's not likely we're going to see a Drogos, and it's not likely we're going to see an Eevee on Jag Falls like we did on Frog Isle. So if you still want to go the Blaster option, and like you were saying, Evil Eye, you haven't really seen, or he's not known for playing the Pip.
Right.
Grab the Bomb King because he's known for playing that. And that's good on Jag Falls.
I agree. I think that if Bomb King were still up for Evil Eye, that's probably what they would have gone with in one of the next 2 picks. Pair that with a Genos as well. He's going to be hitting hard. Pivot onto the Kanga side, though. I think them taking away the Barrack, grab that rock-solid point tank, especially when you pair that with a Genos. That would have been a lot to deal with on the front line, so at least taking one of the 2 of that duo away is smart. Now you're looking at Evil Eye. Do you have to throw him on something like a Mave even here on Jaguar Falls?
So I was thinking about that during game 1. Payne got pretty much an ace with the Mave, and I was like,
yeah,
where's
the Mave
Maeve
looked good
been?
for them.
We've seen her once before this. Honestly, what would you think if they triple tank, just took Ash Khan right here?
That's true. I guess they could. I mean, they're going to leave
What's
that one
Hype
open
going
for
to
the
do?
last.
I mean, what's their off tank going to be?
Yeah, I mean, the Khan is still available. Interestingly enough, seeing Khan drop down this far. They have Genos there.
If they took that Khan right now, the best case scenario for Hype would be to take Fernando. He's like the scrap tank. He's not bad, but he's not really good. Plus, you can theoretically run him as an off tank, and his ult is really good on Jag Falls.
I agree. I think the
Especially
Fernando
since it goes through the walls.
definitely hits. They're hovering. Okay, a little Torvald Lex here. This is a combo that we've seen in days past.
Yeah.
But not days of now. What do you think? You like the pairing?
Lex, Bomb King, Genos paired with a Torvald on this map. Now, Torvald did get a little bit of a nerf.
Maybe he's standardized on his damage amp. with
Instead
field
of
study,
a steak, he's like the steak sauce now.
which can be good. I'm good with the steak sauce.
Yeah.
So you're liking it. I think
Yeah.
That's all right. So
Yeah.
we're happy with the Hype draft here. Kanga now have to think about what they want to pair it with.
But here's the problem.
Like a Drogos for Evil Eye.
Here's the problem. Does
Yeah.
Ash go big shield because you don't really have? I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
you could put Wrecker on Bomb King.
and you know, if you want to look at sort of that situational ultimate, Lex with the Law is going to break that Dome shield. He's going to break the Ash shield. That's a great point.
Because if he grabs, I mean, if Bomb King grabs Wrecker, if he does go into a second red item, does he go Caught or does he go Bulldozer? Since he has the AoE.
Yeah, and then you bring up the Bulldozer. You have to deal with Luna at some point, too, if Kanga are just going to leave that on the point.
Lex can't go Wrecker. I mean, he can,
I don't know
but
if you would want to if you have
but he has
Law
to
anyway.
chase Drogos, and Cassie's going to be looking for him.
Yeah, lots of itemization choices to be had here. I know you like the Hype unit draft, though. I think that they've got a little bit of spice here in this game. Quick thought, yes or no? Do you think Kanga have a draft that can deal with what Hype unit have drafted?
I like Hype's draft, but I think Kanga wins the game.
All comes down to execution sometimes. Spiciness coming out from Hype unit. Game 2, let's go.
Spicy indeed. Welcome back, Torvald. It's been a while. I almost forgot what that character was when they were hovering it. If the nameplate wasn't there, I wouldn't have known. Also, pop off a little bit, Kresnik.
No, this is the kind of spice I expect
Yeah.
from my boy Bork Lasagna over there. I know he and I both learned in the trenches with Coach Bitey, and I think some creative drafts were about what I expected to see coming out with him.
I was excited.
To help that team out.
It is Death Head.
I believe that Torvald tooltip is outdated. It is 15% now.
Yeah.
Since the nerf to Torv, but so that will stack a little bit with Luminary. I think up to like 22, 23-ish%, maybe a little more after diminishing returns. But Fusilade coming out from Evil Eye, specifically, I believe, to deal with the aggressive pocket. Put Wrecker on him, and then if he's directing those shields, they're going to go down immediately for sure.
We will have to see how this actually ends up because Bubblebot is here. And we already see that Edgem is already on the side. He already got somebody really low. It was Gara actually all the way in the back line, but he's backing up. He knows where they are. He's just going to rotate all the way around. Has that combat slide a little bit on lesser cooldown. And the bombs are coming out. 30% already for Hype unit to Kanga's 12%. And he already knows. Edgem knows that Chronix is actually about to push in and that they're about to move in. And they're actually just playing this really smartly. They're not overcommitting to anything. Edgem actually backs all the way up, has the trust in his team, doesn't push up at all, and is still, they're able, the percentage lead is still there.
Yeah, I love this positioning by Edge, just constantly keeping them in danger in the back line. Still harassing now and just always get away without really being under too much threat. They have the objective control. They just need to be careful the Pain doesn't overextend. He needs to stay in the sight line of his Torvald and not push his boundaries a little bit too far.
Right.
You can see Edge still just harassing in the back here. I kind of wanted to see heroism, but this lets him play a lot safer, so I think it's the right play for sure. And here comes the King Bomb.
Oh yeah, here we go. The King Bomb's already moving in. He actually comes right around that corner, all the way to the back. But first blood, he gets a little bit too overzealous, but Edgem is actually at least able to take care of Jones. But look at the percentage. 99% to 24. Rhino gets lifted up. That ultimate was actually just a zoning ultimate. It kept everybody back and allowed Hype Unit to continue to wipe out whoever was left. And because of that, they are able to get this percentage, but not the point quite yet. They're going to converge on Chronix, and he's going to be able to hit that shot.
Also, having Lex as a secondary pocket target is super, super powerful.
Yeah.
We'll see what he can find here if he
Ooh,
dives. He
he
can
goes
totally
in.
dive Evil Eye, and he tries to
Nice.
run away, but he can't make it away in time.
He's going to be able to just focus attention back on a Jones. We already see right now that I was about to say the Bomb King, the shoulder bash is coming out to actually hit Edgem back and bounce it back, but the rest of his team already captured the point. They rotate around, and look at the slash lines. 4 of them undying. Pain is the only one that's died, but he used that King Bomb in such a way that allowed his team to be able to pop off in the way that they did.
It pulled people back for sure, and gave them something they had to deal with. Pain still getting pocketed over here in the back. With a bubble coming in about a little bit over 1,000, I think, per bomb once he gets that mark. Dragon Punch comes in, but I don't know if it's going to be able to go all the way
nice
through.
wall. He actually has to go over the bridge. Actually lost track of the Throner right there. He almost didn't hit him, but he actually was still able to find the fight. They're going to be able to back off, and Edgem is not giving up yet. He just slides right back in. They go on top of Chronix. T-Mac is right there too, but he gets taken care of. Payan trades that for Joes, but Chronix with a double is going to set something up. Payan got a double as well, but not to the same caliber that Chronix was able to pull out.
That was an incredible flank by Chronix, but honestly, it wasn't just on the back of the flank. It was also the fact that Gera was watching Chronix the whole time. Diving the backline with an IO heal and 25% damage reduction was really what enabled that to happen. We saw how low he got, but the shots couldn't find the kill, even combined with T-Mac and Edge. Kanga, though, all that did was buy them time. They're on the defense here. They still have to fight back. Edge is coming up on the left side, just trying to split their attention, and I have a feeling that's all he's going to be trying to do basically all game.
Yeah, I mean, Edgem once again on the side, already chunking that Drogoz to half health, forcing Rhino to back out of window as well. Dethrono's already over there, just using the Earth to Guard. He's actually just rushing him down. That's because of the King Bomb that's all the way in the back. Once again, Payan does not find value from that, and the rest of Hype Unit are not able to actually capitalize on that either. All they were able to do was just move up in their positioning, but Edgem is still on the side, watching that window, firing directly into it, and able to get Rhino low, but they lost somebody. They have to back up.
That was a very dry King Bomb. I don't know if I like that. It was kind of used without any backing and went all the way into the back line. Somehow, it forced out the Be Gone from Gera. I guess that's an answer to it if you throw it at the right time, but he can outdamage you. He can burst you, one-shot you if you don't time it right. Lots of AoE pressure coming into Edge. He has to back up, and only 30 seconds remain for Hype Unit to potentially find the conversion on this payload.
Yeah, you've already got the ultimates it is that you need on both sides, really. I mean, it's just the patient game at this point. You see that nobody's really committing to anything. 15 seconds are left, though, so the Throner's already back on the point. Payan is really just being pocketed. The seismic crash, through time and space, follows through, but just a hair off of Joel's. They used that to try and set that up, and it didn't work out for him. 2 ultimates gone, but they still got the Torvald ult, and actually they get rid of the Throner as well because of that. It's 1-1 now. They've got the Torvald ult, they've got the Lex ult as well. 2 ultimates still up, but I mean, really, they bet a lot on that very, very last push.
Yeah, the combo just barely not connecting there at the last moment. And I think having the Law up is really important for Hype Unit because this lets them deny Dome Shield, right? You think about they want their fights to end immediately. Barrack, if he gets Dove, what's he going to do? He's going to Dome Shield to try to buy time. If the Law just immediately deletes the Dome Shield, then they can actually burn down that Barrack, not let him get away with that. Damage charts swaying pretty heavily in favor of Hype Unit's DPSs, but that's to be expected considering this composition is basically all around them.
Right.
And I kind of like that they went this direction after last map, right? Payan and Edge have this incredible game. And you're like, how about we just like make you pop off even harder?
Yeah.
That's like, sound okay? And they are clearly
They're like,
okay
yeah.
with it. Same start of this mid too. Edge waiting on the side lurking, just wants to surround them. The rest of Hype Unit has to find something to make this worth it.
Yeah, they are just waiting. I mean, Edgem is not pushing up at all, not overextending. Knows that they're in the back though. Rhino Rhino and Chronix actually on him all the way in the back. He has to rotate around. The 2 of them are on him, but really it's just Rhino, the Dragon Punch, trying to open things up, and they're going to take care of Tay. But Evil Eye, because of Payan just being there at the right time, is actually going to be able to take care of him. Rhino committed a little bit too much because now he's all the way in the back. They have to drop Dome Shield on point to try and gain that control. They have it, but Joel's is going to go down. They get rid of T-Mac though, but Edgem and Pain, the two of them already got a kill each. The ultimate comes out, but just a little bit too late.
He got saved because he got stunned.
Oh, good point, good point, good point. They actually were able to take care of that advantage. Pain and Tay get rid of the both or two more members on Kanga's side, which 57% is still available for Hype Unit and still climbing.
They actually saved the law because of the Luna stun coming in. That was a bad ult, for sure.
Yeah.
But they at least got the refund from it. So actually, good dismounter on the side for Rhino. Rhino was the only person that could touch, and Hype Unit blocked the only lane they needed.
Yeah, Joel's actually going to have to back off. He's really low, 267 health low. And Gara is going to have to make sure that he actually can heal him back up how he needs to. He's just trying to spread out the healing, but they're really pincered back against this corner right here. Hype Unit with the aggression. They've got what they want. The Throner's already coming around. Doesn't get stunned. Actually shrugs it off because of the Earth and Guard, but puts the wall up and just goes around the other side. Pain and Tay are taken care of. Team Mech has to back off, but so do the rest of Hype Unit. Unless they get this kill on Gara, they get this kill on Evil Eye. Rhino's next, and Edgem takes care of him. Because of the law being saved from Luna earlier, he's able to just use that again, pop right on Necronix as well, and take care of him. They're moving on to the next target. That's going to be Joel's in a minute. 45 left. You've got 4 ultimates up as well. Gara is one of the only ones on Kanga's side that's still available, and the slash lines for Hype Unit looking absolutely phenomenal.
Can I see the net worth chart? I want to see how much of an advantage Lex has gotten through these Retribution kills. And it's pretty big, higher than his support. That's actually a pretty big deal. You can see the rest of the side. This itemization could come in handy later in the game. We talked about how important Caught Wreck or Bulldozer are going to be for this Hype Unit draft. Not Bulldozer quite yet, but still getting there, getting these cards, and now
nice.
King Bomb might be the engagement that Hype Unit wants.
They're actually using it right around the corner. They're actually just moving in, but Pam, once again, 3 for none. I mean, once again, the third King Bomb this game does not find its mark. Not like the first one, it was at least able to try and set up something, but the other two have just been not as good. Now they have to back off. They bet a lot on that King Bomb. They're going to have to wait for just a little bit. Gets hit by the fire spit, Edgem does, and he's actually just having his health slowly lowered. Salvo comes out, takes care of Edgem once again with just more and more damage, but he is not giving up any space, not affording anything, and they're just really trying to dance right now. They're not committing to anything yet.
Does Pan know that you can detonate King Bomb early?
I don't know.
I think someone might need to tell him because he's gone a little bit too deep with multiples in a row.
Seismic crash.
Might open this fight up, but the combo doesn't connect again.
The second time in the same exact spot. Deja vu. They literally did the same thing and it didn't work, but Tay follows up with his own ultimate. He actually knocks off Joel's, gets rid of them on that point. Pain gets rid, well, gets killed, I should say. He actually has to back off. Evil Eye actually just moves all the way back, and because of that, Edgem is still able to at least afford the space. The ultimate comes out, but gets blocked by the shield, but because of the bubbles, he's still alive, but is going to get taken down at the very last second.
They could have pushed in. The help was so bad on Kanga, but they just disengaged. Edge missing a couple crucial shots, and the fire rate on Lex is so slow. It's so punishing if you miss. Hype Unit spent every single ultimate there, and Kanga have their whole gambit back in 2. Hype Unit have a draft that doesn't really need the ultimates to win, but you want them. It's not like you just don't want to have them.
Right.
For sure. I don't know, man. They need to find something with these King Bombs a little bit different, because I don't know what they're going for with it. That was way too deep. He could have det early, stunned Gara, and then lived in the middle, maybe gotten a second bubble, but he just goes straight in a straight line, and you're going to die when Kanga have so much damage that they do. They have Barrack, they have Fusillade, Drogoz, Cassie. If you're moving in a straight line, you are done for. There's no way you're getting away from that alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to a lot of different things. The continued execution right now. Does anything stand out to you in terms of the builds? I mean, Tay has Master Riding.
A lot of resilience on the other side because of the Hyper Beam plus the Bomb King plus the Seismic Crash coming out from the Inara. So lots there. And Edge actually switching up his position, but he moves first. That means Rhino and Evil Eye know he's there. They'll be willing to be more patient, especially since they're winning this point fight.
Okay, there goes the Dome Shield, gets dropped directly on the point. The rest of Kanga are trying to follow up, and they actually get the stun. The Assert Dominate's a very good one right on the pan. They're actually able to look at Tay, trying to take care of him. They make sure that he dies as well. Team Mac all the way in the back, and he's just going to get rolled right over right now. Chronix with the triple kill. They're just looking at the throne. They're going to be able to not stagger him out, but make sure that he gets off of that point so they don't have to worry about that.
He didn't stop the point the whole time. All the Throner had to do was not press a movement key. But now here they are with 78% and climbing on the objective. King Bomb coming in with the speed boost, but again, it's going to have to go in a straight line because they're going to have to contest the point.
Oh, he did
that
too early!
The Beacon doesn't even connect. They don't even need it because he dets early.
Well, I mean, that answers your question
Finally,
from earlier, Chris. Yes,
but
he
at the
does
one time
know
he shouldn't.
He does know it detonates early, but at what cost? The cost of the point. You're 3-2 now. You have the Dragon Punch on Kanga's side, but my goodness, this game is closer I would say, a little bit than the last one was. I mean, not Edge, but Hype Unit, as together as a unit, they have to be able to continue to try and find or harness something that's going to allow them to close out this game.
And now that we're going to late game, Torvald's getting a little bit worse, and I think
Yeah.
Io on the other side is getting a little bit better. So tough, I think, to burn through that 25% DR even with Cauterize 3. Edge gets forced away. And Genos is still topping the healing charts, but you're not picking Io for the raw healing.
Right.
You're picking Io for that pocket potential and that objective control. So I think Kanga are still in a pretty good way here. Use ults and convert this, but charge some of them first. What are they going to be willing to spend? It looks like they're slow pushing here, but haven't quite found their opening just yet.
1, 5, and 8. Here we go. The Dragon Punch comes out. They use the opportunity of that seismic crash to be able to capitalize on that. They get rid of Evil Eye. Karnix gets taken down as well. Edge and Pain, the two of them get 1 kill each. They actually are just flooding the kill feed right now with kills from both sides, but a triple kill from Edge is going to be the deciding factor here. Pain is actually there to follow up. He's going to be able to take care of Ash. Make sure she gets blown up in 1 minute and 5 seconds left. This is what it comes down to. The payload is still really close. Hype Unit have their ultimates. Can Kanga push it in?
I'm currently in the camp that the Throner should never seismic crash for the rest of the game. There's so much resil on the other side. It's literally just not shooting for a couple seconds at this point. So much resilience. They need to be careful how they use the ultimates. King Bomb at this point is basically just burst damage. Hyper Beam should probably also never be used. So Hype Unit kind of have all their ultimates turned off. They're going to have to win mechanically, but I think that's their biggest strength. They're such strong mechanical players. Fire Spit comes in to cleave the backline. Edge gets very low, and the Scout comes in, and I think Kang can smell blood in the water.
They definitely do. Dethroner's looking really low, and he actually gets healed right back up, but they drop the Dome Shield. Joel's actually used that to save himself for a little bit. King Bomb comes out. They actually go right on the Ash, but she already had the Assert Dominance. She just eats it, takes it, and gets that kill. Chronix is going to be taken care of. Joel's is still on point at half health, but Evil Eye's going to take care of Edgem. We already got 2 kills in favor of Kanga Esports. The Begone goes out, but the wall goes up to block that. They don't want to actually deal with that. Tay gets killed immediately. That ultimate gets used to try and knock him back, but it is still not enough. Payan's in the back, gets rid of Rhino, but T-Mac goes down again. Payan has to try and contest. The stun right onto him. The Throner's really low. He's going to get taken care of. Edgem acting on the point, uses the ultimate, but still, Kanga Esports are going to take their second game in this set.
Hype Unit just run into the Fusillade blender there at the end. Evil Eye connecting every single direct that he needs to.
Oh, man.
And you know what I said? Probably shouldn't use Seismic Crash or Hyper Beam again. Tay uses Hyper Beam. That was a pretty cool 200 damage.
Right.
You know, it's ultimate level ability, 200 damage. Tickle Evil Eye across the map. Die.
Yeah.
Probably should have been a little more careful once that resilience was online. You really can't spend your resources the same way in the late game, and I think they were trying to. Ultimate's connecting a little bit more. Maybe they planned something out. Maybe Hype Unit take that map, but it just wasn't meant to be.
It just was not meant to be at all. 2-0 already for Kanga Esports. I mean, they're looking really, really good.
Yeah.
But we've sort of seen the story before, Chris, like where Kanga have had this lead and then
Oh, don't put that evil on me.
Regardless, Kanga already with the 2-0 situation. Can Hype Unit actually be able to try and come back right after this break in Game 3?
No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Can you feel me? Can you feel me? Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do?
Another game, another Kanga win, and another couple of points from Hype Unit. They're hanging in these games, and you see maybe some of this early map aggression from them, but not enough to grab them the win. Kanga, 1 win away now from taking this set, moving on in the winner's bracket and dropping Hype Unit minor league team down to the losers bracket. Blue, we liked what they brought to the table. You correctly said you liked the hype unit draft. You figure Kanga would win. Where did things maybe not quite match up for hype unit? I mean, they had some spiciness, lots of damage in the early game. What'd you see there?
That damage really fell off, and so did the ultimates. Kresnik said it beautifully. All the resilience for the side of Kanga. Couldn't use Hyper Beam effectively at all. Seismic Crash, and then Bomb King's ult, the King Bomb.
Right.
So that's 3 big ults that you couldn't use anymore. Genos ult, it's not the end to end all. You have Lex ult as well, but he got stunned by the dog in like 2 of his ults. So
some fall off potentially there. Ult-wise, maybe Kanga start to prioritize a little bit of Wrecker. 3 of them, in fact, all of them at level 2. So those Torvald shields melt a little bit quicker. Evil Eye at 12-5-5, I think, had a great game for his side. Chronix as well, spreading out a lot of that Wrecker onto those Torvald bubbles, things of that nature. I think Evil Eye on this Drogoz had himself a game, notably here towards the end, helps him push it on in. We weren't sure if we'd see the Drogoz, but we saw it for Evil Eye.
Yeah, I didn't expect the Drogoz to come out unless Hype took the Bomb King.
Right.
And that, of course, happened. And Evil Eye, he finished this game off with a triple. Might have been a delayed quad there at the end. He played insane, especially when there's, a Lex chasing you down. He could put his warrants out, little retribution target on you and do more damage. And we said this all the way at the beginning. We said it last game as well. He has to play insane.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the damages for Hype are playing well against Evil Eye.
Right.
Evil Eye's just outdoing them and doing it more.
Sure. No, I agree. And I like seeing the Drogoz out of Evil Eye. Not that I've ever doubted Evil Eye's Drogoz.
No, you don't doubt his BK.
But, we're used to seeing, Eevee, Bomb King. That's, like, those 2 are his core. So I love seeing, and it's not, again, it's not a fringe pick, but not like his most common 2 champions. Still seeing a good game out of him on the Drogoz Stone Keep. Raises similar questions. I think Bomb King still potentially prioritized here on this map. Do you agree? Maybe Bomb King early priority for Hype or Kanga?
I think we could see a Bomb King or a Drogoz on Stone Keep again. Stone Keep's also really good for hit scans.
Yep.
But unlike Jack Falls, we could see the Eevee come back out.
That's true. I think Eevee could be a pivot here for Kanga as well. Strix IO taken off of the board. One of the first IO bans I think we've maybe seen. Inara as well as Willow. So now you see both Atlas and Makoa still available. Not something we've seen a lot of recently at all. Looks like Hype units. They're going to grab the Atlas first and foremost, likely meaning Kanga will grab themselves at least the Barrack for now and maybe pair that with a Makoa. You seem to jump right on that Atlas. Do you think between the 2, you like him a lot better?
So game 1 on Frog Isle, they gave the Makoa to Kanga and didn't take the Atlas because it was banned. But if someone takes Makoa, you want the Atlas to play against that. You especially can't put them together. So taking the Atlas here first pick is the better choice over Makoa. They do get the Barrack with it as well. But at the same time, you can go double off tank. We've seen them do this a couple times. And if you ask me, that's the biggest problem Hype's having right now. Pain and Edgem are playing insane.
Yep.
Game 1, game 2, but they're still losing because these front lines are losing to Kanga's front lines.
Right.
And they need, I said, Tay played insane all season. Not looking like the same Tay here today.
Yeah, it is a big difference. I mean, so much of the emphasis is put on, can Payin match Evil Eye and vice versa? Can Chronix and Edgem kind of match one another out? A lot of these games have kind of been decided out in the trenches. I mean, you see big triple kill from Edgem in the last game and helps him win that fight. Triple kill, delayed quad from Evil Eye and Jaguar Falls to end the game. It's a lot of those little min moments where the frontliners, the off tanks, have really been making a difference. It's a tall task, to be fair, to go up against Rhino and Joel's. It is going to be the Bomb King for Kanga. Pair that with the Genos as well. Evil Eye is going to be hitting plenty hard here in this game. Hype Unit have already grabbed Cassie. Where do you think Chronix maybe goes? Leon, Victor, both still on the table.
Victor, Leon would be good here as well.
Does that maybe depend on Hype's flex pick?
Yeah, it depends on what Hype takes with their last 2 picks.
They're still looking for a healer and one more, potentially a flank or blaster for themselves. Eevee,
they could go
still on the table.
They could take the Leon or Victor here. They don't necessarily need to take a blaster.
Sure.
I wouldn't take Eevee into that comp as well. I mean, it's not something you need to take against the Bomb King Genos.
I mean, if you're hype, you're picking knowing that Kanga are going to get either a Leon or a Victor, likely. I mean, they could flip-flop.
Honestly, I'm taking the Maeve again. Payne played beautifully on it.
I thought he had a great game on the Maeve as well, at least for now, hovering that Eevee, maybe pair it with a Furia and Flames. Sudden go button. They have 2 off-tanks between Atlas and Khan. Sudden aggression may be the name of the game here for Hype Unit. They do lock in the Eevee. They do lock in the Furia. And, you know, Victor, Leon, the 2 names we've been throwing out maybe for Chronix, still both on the board.
How aggressive can the Cassie get, though? That's my question.
That is, yeah. Because you're going to have a team that wants to fly forward, and I don't know if I'm trying to fly forward if I'm a Cassie.
Cassie's just going to, like, kind of walk forward.
Yeah.
I mean, her bird can fly forward, but not her.
Yeah, you send out Ziggs. I guess Ziggs is the 6th man in this regard. Hype Unit, aggression may be the name of the game for them. Kanga, they get themselves Makoa, Barrack. Pair it with the Genos Bomb King Leon. I kind of like what Kanga have going here. Hype Unit stand a chance here on Stone Keep?
If Kanga grabs resilience
that's
like
not
across
confidence.
the board again.
That's no confidence.
I like Kanga's draft.
Yeah.
The Leon, it's a nice touch at the end. I think
agree.
they've got it, especially against an Eevee.
Sure. I think Kanga have drafted themselves well, but execution, one more time. That's what Kanga needs. Maybe one more time. We'll send it down to your casters.
They got so much from the desk. Now, yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the Bomb King can pose a problem for Hype as well. I mean, that's why they got rid of the Anar. They got rid of they got one of the power tanks, sure, but they don't have a point tank. They have that Fury to try and supplement it, I believe, with the Inflame. But still, I mean, Kanga's draft just looks stronger.
Having a point tank, I think, is a pretty big edge, but Khan and Atlas on the other team, I think if they manage to pop off, Throner and Tay, a lot of pressure on them, if they can make it work, those 2 tanks can control the game. Having both of them can do that too, but they have to make sure that the objective pressure doesn't fall out of their hands. They have to keep that in mind the whole time, or Kanga are just going to run away with this game.
Yeah, we will have to see if they are going to keep it in mind. Indeed. Here we go, though. I mean, they are heading immediately to keep Kanga already moving up there. And really, Throner's the one to the Khan, trying to wait for a little bit longer, firing freely at the point. He's already half health, has to battle shout to make sure he can get out of that situation. And the divider already went out too. I mean, Kanga is already at 21% as is. Here we go. I mean, once again, everyone's pretty much biding their time, but Kanga are the ones with the lead right now. They have the percentage, and now it's climbing back up. No one can really step on the point from Hype Unit's side. They really need this pick, especially since the Throner's looking so low. All of those bombs finding their marks, and that is so difficult to try and come back from.
This is a weird thing to say, but I think the Throner made a mistake giving up that ground. If he hugged the wall, they would have had to push further, right? They would have had to shove in to find the kill. And Edge would have been able to free fire, but now Edge just gets pushed on by Rhino because now there's no one stopping him. No one can hold the line that the Throner was holding. Kanga can get some free cap. Hype Unit are giving up as much ground as they can, but now Kanga have full control more or less over this midpoint.
66% and steadily climbing, or at least is about to be, especially with the percentage that they already have and the positioning that they have on Kanga's side. The ice block drops down, the rewind is right there for Tay. He runs himself, then he has the divider once again, gonna throw that out so that way he can at least drop down and try and find some type of escape and gain some percentage on the point. This is the first few percentages the Hype Unit have gotten for themselves. They use the scout to make sure they know where everybody is, but a good kill on the Evil Eye, that's definitely gonna open things up, especially since the Throner's still sitting on that point. And Pei is still there, the Enlightenment's there, but he blinks back to dodge it just at the very last second. Chronix is extremely low, but he is getting healed by Genos.
Edge actually trying to dive in, maybe a little bit too aggressive, uses the disengage straight down, but Tay running all over Kanga here, and Pain now with Tay are controlling this banana side of the map. Gotta keep this area locked down for sure. This is the best way for them to take high ground, and that's how they're gonna take the point back. Tay has setback. Off the cooldown. If he can use Makoa when he comes in, they might be able to stop this. I don't even know if they need to. Evil Eye tries to come in, can't even make it, and Hype Unit get win the first mid fight of Stone Keep.
Yeah, I mean, what looked like a very deciding fight for Kanga just flipped right on its head and gave it back to Hype Unit. The Throner's going to go down first, though. As soon as they capture that point, and a good bomb onto Edge is going to take care of him as well. They got rid of Gera, but still, Tay's being run down right now. He's going to have to try and rewind him, but he's still going to get taken apart. You got 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. And I mean, that's really it. I mean, now Kanga have the zone that they need. They can get into the position that they need to. But still, I mean, Hype Unit have their chance, of course, to be able to push the payload.
By the way, shoutouts to any setback that Tay hits. This is the much harder setback to connect. It's the one without Deja Vu. A great hook from Rhino on the side. Catches Pain, and it looks like this might be Kanga's moment to strike.
Okay, but Tay actually takes care of Evil Eye. That's actually going to be really, really good. The shield's going out there. The Thorner's okay with taking those shots to the back by the Makoa. Has to back out, though. He's just going to shell spin right back in there. Get the hook. Try and knock him off, but the battle shot is still there. They are just on top of him, flooding.
Just a slap fight.
Yeah, I mean, they are literally just trying to make sure they can take down the Throner. Now they've recognized the problem. They know it's T-Mac. He tries to body block, but they get rid of Rhino, and he gets rid of Joel's. The commitment right there might have been a little bit too much. We have Chronix already engaged in a one-on-one with Payan, but you have a couple good shots. Payan's low, so is Chronix, but he doesn't see that. Zoran's coming around to actually help Payan out. They get that kill, and now they can get the push.
Bounce by Payan, trying to carry his momentum forward. A really cool tech that we found recently, and seeing the players abuse it is very, very fun. Now, has an overpower, might use it. Hype Unit don't really have a great way to poke up top. They have no indirect damage. It's all face-to-face, so honestly, Rhino can just hold up there the whole time, but the Inflame might be enough damage to push him away.
Oh, they actually try to use the time and space to try and snipe out that Fury, but the Divider goes out, allowing them to push in. Gara's going to get taken care of with that dive from Payan all the way into the back. You've got no healing. You have Defender's advantage, but you also got the overpower right onto that target. You got rid of Chronix. Two of them are down, but once again, Defender's advantage. They have the ultimates that Kanga need to use in case they actually need to make sure they can actually fight back. Joe's is really, really low on this Barret. The Poppy Bomb, did he Poppy Bomb himself off?
No,
Okay,
Edge
I was about to say he was going to get Poppy Bombed off, or he was actually got that disengaged. He actually got disengaged right there by Edgem. I just see him flailing his arms all the way in the back.
It looked like he was no-clipping off of the map,
he
honestly.
was literally like flailing
floating
his
there
arms
on
in
the
back.
edge. Rhino jumps down to contest the point, but gets set back. Perfect timing by
Nice.
Tay. Also goes down. Now they have to throw Barrack on the point. Will he Dome Shield? Most likely not. Looks like this is going to potentially be a push for Hype Unit.
That is going to be the push that they need. They have Exile, they have Scout, they have Ice Storm, but Kanga have 4 ults of their own. I mean, there's an Inflame that's building up for Hype Unit that's going to be really, really close to coming up as this fight is going to be end up involving. But already a 2-0, very convincing. This is interesting. I mean, they're like, hey, there's that Furia. We need to get rid of her. They get rid of her, but at what cost? You lose both of your frontliners because they're so busy with diving in that back line.
And I think this is a good look for Hype Unit, specifically having double off tank. It kind of opens up their aggression, lets them just have that mechanical outplay. Couple ultimates up for both teams. Inflame will be up very, very soon, I'm sure, for Hype Unit. Furia's ultimate charges very quickly. I want to take a look at that. We can see the damage charts here, kind of dominated by the Barrack and Lilian, but can we actually see the healing chart, the difference between the Furia and the Genos here? Assuming the Genos is going to have a pretty decent look there. And actually, interesting start by Hype. Starting on the objective here, keeping that contested. Grumpy Bomb blocked by the Temporal Divide, but Dome Shield used, but that's really early.
Yeah, but nice stun directly on the Rhino. It's going to force him to use the Ancient Ratio. He doesn't get melted, but Edgem's right behind him. The Inflame as well to give himself damage immunity. They're going to be able to fight back because of this. They get rid of Rhino. They get rid of Joel's. Both frontliners gone. Edgem is taken care of thanks to Chronic's positioning. But look at where they are. They're building percentage, 36% for Hype Unit. And now Kanga have to sort of back off. They cannot push in any more than they want to.
I think that's a Temporal Divide was used a little bit too early. Now they won't have it for when the push really comes in, and look, they have to give up ground. This could have been the perfect time to drop that, slow down Kanga. Hook missed by Rhino there on the far right side. Tate buying as much time as he can with Jules, but is Jules a little overextended here in front of the whole team?
I mean, he actually might be. Yeah, the shield actually gets dropped, but it gets melted almost instantly in that same breath. He's actually taking a lot of fire, but he's being healed up by that Genos. They are keeping him alive. His health just keeps on growing. The overpower is around the Chronix, but Rhino drops down immediately. Tries to throw him off, but he's just going to slide right back off.
No one was there to clean up on the overpower. No way you're going to kill a Leon. Great enlightenment by Chronix to catch Payan out. Kanga had all that cap time from before. Double comeback means they're going to get this mid, and they're going to set up to try to convert the payload.
97% to a point capture. Good conversion from Kanga Esports, and you still have a 3-time in space and a Dome Shield and an enlightenment coming back up real soon to be used once again. But the damage charts right here. You can see the slash lines as well. Everything's looking pretty decent. I mean, Payan's having a little bit of a rough game. He's a little bit negative, but still he's able to provide a lot of space. Does anything stand out to you here?
What, in terms of the slash lines and everything? I mean, Leon Cassie both pretty close. You can see how quickly Cassie's damage is growing. Edge connecting basically every single shot here now, just in the lead here. Damage-wise, no, nothing too surprising. I was going to say, I think Evil Eye and Chronic should flip right now. I see no reason why Leon is the one playing up here when Bomb King can spam it directly around the corner. Quick push from Edge here on the side. Enlightenment is up, and no roll up from Edge. Doesn't hit that somersault threshold in his build and doesn't get that roll reset.
Payan is right there, blinks in, but I believe he got hooked the brief time where he actually just got melted, could not do anything. And already Kanga are clapping back just as fast as Hype Unit was actually able to capture their points. Now Kanga seem to be doing the exact same thing. They are opening the doors that they need to be able to continue this pressure. And look at that. No ultimates used, no ultimates necessary, none needed with the pressure that Kanga are exuding.
We'll see if any ultimates do get spent here. Tay contested the last second. Temporal divides up. The health is actually really bad on Kanga, so this is clutchable, but not with the amount of damage going onto Tay. They find who they need to. Great flick on that presence also by Chronix to keep them zoned out. And this Leon, honestly, is, I think, what's really keeping them in this game.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, good awareness from Rhino as well. I mean, they saw the con was over there, and he rolls down as soon as he hears the overpower goes off. And once again, yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, this Leon is, you see it right here in the replay, and you see it as the game has been going on. It's literally, it's literally doing a lot of stuff for Kanga right now. 9-3 and 10, and topping the damage charts for just anyone in this game.
14 streak too. And when I was calling out Joel's for potentially being overextended earlier, I guess I forgot he was Barrick, because Barrick kind of just has 3,000 extra health in the pocket. Gets focused, but not enough there. Gera opting not to go for Chronos 3, gets Blast Shield and Wrecker instead to provide a little bit more utility to his team and survive those dives from Pain a little bit better. Joel's potentially getting caught out early, but if he doesn't use Ice Storm, Exile used instead, but only just to buy time up top.
Yeah. And they don't even have any point percentage at that. The Traffic Space goes through, gonna go wide though, not gonna find
it hits Atlas.
Okay, well, it's still gonna be able to not really find what it is that they need to with that, because Tage's gonna rewind himself, which he just did, and actually got his health all the way back. The Ice Storm gets dropped though from Payan. The alignment's already there, gonna duck behind that corner, gonna try and see if he can snipe him right around it, but it's not gonna be enough still. They get rid of the Throner and Payan. Two of them down, out of the fight for at least a few more seconds. And the percentage for Kanga Esports, 18% already for him, is looking good.
That's the only saving grace right now for Hype, that Kanga wasn't capping that whole time. Rhino backing up, but Ancient Rage is between them and this point. Overpower, Inflame, both going to be up pretty soon, but God, that Ancient Rage is hard to deal with. You have to have your Cassie inflamed there to be able to fight it. The Throner's going to have to be the one that touches the point too, so this Overpower is kind of meaningless.
87% to 90 to that Inflame usage to try and find their percentage or their opening. They're able to touch to cause the overtime. Once again, it just gets used. The Ancient Rage is just there. Now he's just slowly walking down to Throner, but he gets picked off, but no one's there to touch except for the Throner. He's going to be there, and that's going to cause at least a little bit of overtime unless this happens where they keep getting these kills. 6% for them, and now they're just able to open up the door to so many opportunities. They get rid of Payan, but Edge is up in heaven, making sure that he's firing down right on top of Chronix. They get rid of him. Now Chronix is one of the only ones that's left. Rhino comes back, but he's still there, able to be healed up by that Furia. He's just waiting close by. They use the scout and get the dismount onto Joel's, but he's already there. The Inflame is back up again. They just used it to start the fight. They're just going to use it to try and end it, and they are pushing them all the way back to where their spawn could potentially be. They cannot find a way to touch.
Ice Storm here, so now Bowling Ball not going to be a factor for Joel's. Gets burned so low, but his shield is barely keeping him alive. Pain can't find the final shot, and he gets away from the cripple.
But Joel's actually still gets taken down regardless of that. The overtime timer is taken down, but Rhino cannot touch. They get the point conversion. They get 2 kills as well, but it doesn't matter. Kronix uses the enlightenment, doesn't find the Marte is also right there, and he's going to be able to make sure that he can get these kills. A double for him. They're going to fall back. A good grip right onto Evil Eye. He's going to make sure that he tries and takes care of him as well, and he's going to be able to get it with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left for Hype Unit.
3 kills there in the end of the fight for Tay, showing the cleanup potential of Atlas. Not having to charge up your shot to do 900 damage is pretty good. Some would say first bannable in a lot of situations, but not in this game, and Tay is showing you why it probably should have been. Evil Eye moving up to help fight up here. Hype Unit on the verge of taking their first map of this set. They can find something. Tay, very aggressive. Great temporal divide.
Oh, nice rewind!
Setback. Pulls Evil Eye back in.
But he actually just gets stunned right there. The Grubby Bomb was there, and it actually just ends up stunning him. He's still going to go down despite that. A good rewind, but not good enough, my friend. You still got a minute 35 left to be able to make it back to point and try and push it in to find your first win against Kanga Esports. But Kanga are the ones that walk out on top of this mid-fight.
Oh, if I hit a shot like that and then my team immediately wipes, oh, I'm sad. I'm big sad as soon as that happens, especially if I'm the first one to die. Like, oh my god, I hit this sweet air shot. Yeah, you fed.
Yeah.
That's absolutely the worst feeling. Are they
Oh, Exile.
your Exile used, but they actually trade Pain out.
Yeah.
Garrett caught there, but he's far enough away where that shouldn't really be a problem.
Uh-oh. T-Max getting over the back, though, but thankfully for the peel, it's not going to be enough, though. Joel's able to take advantage of that and capitalize on it. And we already see right now that they are just opening fire and taking their time. They are just waiting for their positioning, trying to find a way to open something up, but they cannot break this line that Kanga have. They have 4 ultimates as well. The Enlightenment's almost there, but Hype Unit, they almost have 4 too, but a good opening kill on the Joes, that's going to mean a lot. They know that Chronix is in there in charge, but Paya just gets annihilated. A good hook into follow-up damage from Chronix is too much for him to handle, and because of that, he's going to go down. But Edgem is taking care of Evil Eye, which he's going to end up, it's going to result in him getting a kill. The shield goes up, Chronix has to back up, but another good hook, and he's still going to be able to live with some cleanup kills coming from Hype Unit.
Thunder does an amazing job staying alive there.
Yes.
Basically juggling his cooldowns exactly what he needed to. Not using Commander's Grab, and I think that's smart.
Right, I
Because
agree.
it makes you super vulnerable when you connect it. No one's really running that DR on hit grip card. It's not very good, which is why Overpower goes in. Looks like it does not end up connecting. Thunder still with that 30%. That means they want to convert this, though, if they're willing to spend that, but they don't have a point tank. No one can really buy a ton of time, only to Throner, and he really, I don't know how long he can withstand the onslaught.
They've got another in-play ready to go. If they decide on what they want to be able to use, but once again, he is being pressured too much. Payne's trying to take care of Rhino up there, but I don't know if it's enough. I agree, Kresik. I don't know if they can actually manage to push him in, especially not when the Throner goes down. They're just going to have to give it up, and this is going to be such a fight. This is it. This is 3-3. If Kanga take this, they win the set. If Hype Unit take this, they've got their chance at life. It's a matter of the execution as this fight or this match could be coming to a close.
Well, history would say that Hype Unit win this win this fight coming up. We'll have to see if they can actually follow through, if that's a PPL exclusive curse that Kanga have brought on top of themselves. This was a great fight from Tay, all in general, really showing the power of Atlas. You can see the Commander's Grab there. It did about 400 damage, CC'd Evil Eye, but on his own, the grip's not going to be able to do enough. That's why I was kind of praising him for holding back on spending it earlier. Pain's having a really rough game in the face of Chronix, but I think the rest of Hype Unit are just playing together well enough. And like I said, what needed to happen, the tanks had to step up, and I think they are. They're going to have to keep that up, though, if they want to convert this set and keep it rolling and keep their chances up.
Oh, man. Payan gets taken out. I blinked, and he was gone. Payan gets deleted immediately in the beginning of the game. The Ancient Rage comes out as well, but a good rewind on the Chronix. Tay is by himself in the back. The second chance, though, is going to leave Chronix alive. They're not going to be able to take care of that kill, and the Throner goes down, man. You get 2 exiles, but at what cost do you do that for? You can just let somebody go, and because of that, you may have just ended the game for your team. You get a through time and space and 72% for Kanga and steadily climbing. This is gonna be it. Kanga are gonna take it over a Hype Unit without any chance of them being able to touch.
The Void Grip in the way, no resilience up for the Throner means there's absolutely no chance. And what is that, nerves? Is that nerves fun there at the last moment? Tay was right there.
I guess,
just slightly overestimating the damage that Leon and Genos were going to do. Just could not go through it. And Kanga, clean. Well, clean, I guess, in this scoreboard. But in-game, it was a little bit closer. But still, a 3-0 victory over Hype Unit. Hype Unit have a lot I think they're going to need to work on if they want to make this. But we saw those sparks. We saw those moments. They had those aggressive mechanical plays that were doing things pretty effectively. But in the last game, the tanks pop off and the DPS just fall off.
Would you have tried to, well, I mean, I think this is general consensus. I was just going to say that if you would have converted that kill onto Chronix and traded out your life for it, what would your team have been able to set up?
He wouldn't have traded his life. He would have been able to get away for sure.
Okay.
Although it would have been just Genos damage left for him. He just, I think he thought he got the shot off and second chance just a little bit too early. Who knows? Maybe the fight could have still been lost even if that happens, but hindsight's 20/20. No reason to dwell too hard on it. Still Hype Unit, I think. Had a decent performance map to map, but at the end of the day, Kanga, they had the drafts, they closed it all out.
Once again, Hype Unit eliminated and put into the losers bracket. Kanga Esports, though, they are the ones that walk out with a 3-0 victory. We're going to throw it back to the desk and get their thoughts on this match.
Well, between Hero and Shadow in that post-game interview, they can breathe easy. They both confidently said 3-0 for Kanga. It was close, a couple 6-point games in there, but Kanga were able to grab the 3-0 win. It was sort of one of those, Blue, where we saw the drafting phase. We were confident that Kanga had drafted something for Stonekeep that would grab them the win.
They did just that. I mean, the tanks for Hype, they underperformed.
You think? Is that where that game plan falls apart?
It's not even all 3 games.
Maybe not game plan. Is that just where this matchup falls apart?
The whole matchup. They had a chance against Kanga and so many opportunities to capitalize off of Kanga's mistakes over and over and over again throughout the entire matchup.
Yeah.
The DPS for both teams, Chronix and Evil Eye, and then Pain and now I'm having a blank. Edgem. They were playing great. All 4 of them. They showed out. They did their jobs.
You're right. A big difference. I mean, look at Joel's right now. I mean, he is above Evil Eye at 107,000 damage. That's good for 3rd in the game. Compare that with either of the tanks for Hype Unit, both 75, 50,000. I mean, you're looking at 30, 40, 50,000 more damage from Joel's. Granted, he has a Genos behind him than you had. So I agree. And it was kind of the way it happened, where you look at Rhino, you look at Jules, they didn't have like the flashy big plays. A few, Makoa double kills here and there. I think what they provided to Chronix and Evil Eye cannot be understated, but then, the big flashy plays come out. I love this one. Slide right back onto the map. It can sometimes be a thankless job, though, being a point tank. You're really controlling those trenches, and I agree.
Look at that kill
I think that's where Kanga won.
Evil Eye, Chronix, Jules.
I guess that kind of tells the story of the game.
Yeah, those are the 3. In a perfect world, you put your damage boost from the Luminary on Genos, you put it on Chronix, Evil Eye, and the Barrack, which was Joel's. So, that's why Barrack had so much damage. We talked about it yesterday when they had the triple deeps with the Genos and they had the Buck. The Buck, which would be the Makoa in this situation, has that job to kind of, hey, stay alive, not going to give you a heal.
Right. I mean, every once in a while, if you're about to die, maybe we give you a little something. 3 perfect targets for it between a Bomb King, a Leon, and a Barrack. I can't think of, in each role, maybe many better targets to have that Luminary mark on. Big game for Kanga. They start out their Paladins World Championship qualifier week with a 3-0 over Hype Unit. We've said what we need to say here. They controlled that game. Let's hear how they're feeling.
Hey guys, and welcome. Congratulations to you guys, of course, with the win against Hype Unit. How are you guys feeling coming into this qualifiers? You guys feel like you're ready? I mean, you were able to actually make it a 3-0 over Hype Unit, but how do you feel about the rest of the split coming up?
Yeah, I think we'll be able to get out of qualifiers. I think we're looking good, yeah.
That's confidence. It's fine with me. So, Hades, I mean, you're here. Something I haven't been able to say for a majority of this phase. I guess this is for you. Hades, how's it being back? And Joel's, how's it having him back in general?
Yeah, well, for me, it's great being back. I mean, the Paladins team, they've been in the house the whole year, and, grinding, really trying their hardest. And it's good just to be here to help out, do whatever I can, just give them those little reminders here and there, some suggestions here and there. And the littlest thing can make the biggest difference in the long run. So it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, I think having a coach really helps for any team.
Was it like no kind of bumps getting back in? You just slotted right back in like it was like you've been here the whole time?
No, I purposely came back a little bit earlier so I had time to catch up on the meta and just learn the little things and see what's happening so I can give the right feedback. But yeah, it's definitely, if you're here the whole time, obviously it's better, but the more time that you put in, the more improvement you get.
We saw an interesting strategy on the other side of the rooms, I guess, from Hype Unit coming out on Jaguar Falls. What is the best way, would you say, to deal with that kind of heavy pocket Torvald strategy, at least now with how you have to have that double pocket on a DPS?
So I think you can re-watch that game and you can see how we adapted mid-game. First, you'll see us trying a typical strategy where someone's pushing aside, and they realised it didn't work against that sort of pocket with they had the Lex right at the back, just hiding basically. And that countered our original strategy, but then we adapted well and we sended people around in twos. So the flank had multiple people doing it and then looking for that key ults like the Ashe.
Yeah, also later in the game you get your Wreckers online, your Courts online, so it gets easier and easier the longer the game goes for.
Yeah.
Were you expecting a team like Hype Unit, considering they're coming from the minor league, even with that PPL experience, to be pulling out kind of wacky stuff like that coming into this game?
Yeah, I think they did pretty well, yeah. So we weren't expecting it, we adapted, and it was lucky that we adapted.
But we did expect it there. We thought they were going to do even more crazy stuff. Like we thought they were going to go Timbermill 5 DPS or something, like a last chance, hurrah, come on, try this, it might work.
Would you have mirrored that 10 DPS, or is that a little too NIP SSG specific?
For sure, yeah.
We would have. Against them, we definitely would have.
Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. Congratulations on taking down Hype Unit, moving forward in the bracket. Stay tuned, guys. After this break, we're going to continue on and have SSG versus Flashpoint.